Rohl led Rangers to a 3-1 victory away at Celtic Park back in early January, a match which served as the last rites for Nancy before the axe fell just 2 days later. How the tables have turned. Heading into the final Old Firm derby of the season, it is Rohl who now has the look of a haunted man as he heads back to the scene of his finest hour as Rangers manager. A dead man walking? It's not as cast iron as it was with Nancy, but there is no question that Rohl's life expectancy has shortened considerably over the past fortnight. The topic of the manager's future has split opinion among the Rangers' support after back-to-back defeats to Motherwell and Hearts effectively ended their hopes of winning the title. There are those who retain faith in Rohl, pointing to the way he dragged the club back into the title race, and they feel he deserves the chance to start afresh next season. There are also those who believe he is finished. Another busted flush who has botched a brilliant opportunity to win the league. Yet, whether the glass is to be viewed as half full or half empty, one thing's for sure. Rohl's future and long-term suitability as manager is now a major talking point. His reputation has absolutely tanked over this past fortnight. The credit in the bank that he had built since arriving in October is now all but gone completely. Were he to suffer another defeat to Martin O'Neill's Celtic tomorrow afternoon, it is not beyond the realms Rangers could pull the plug in the summer. That's how quickly this has unraveled for the young German. A man who looked like he could walk on water in the eyes of Rangers fans at the turn of the year is now in danger of drowning as another season of mediocrity comes to its conclusion. Rohl has faced O'Neill 3 times so far this season and is yet to taste victory. 2 of those 3 games saw Celtic knock Rangers out of both domestic cup competitions. These matches form part of the bigger picture around Rohl. His record in big matches is nowhere near good enough. The numbers don't lie. Since taking charge, he has presided over 15 matches against opponents in the top 6 of this season's Premiership, and won only 6 of them. Rangers lost to Celtic at Hampden in the League Cup semi-finals shortly after his arrival, albeit they did make a decent fist of it with 10 men and took the tie to extra time. They then squandered a 2-0 lead in a league game at Ibrox as Celtic came back to draw 2-2, a spectacular soiling of the bed that would be emblematic of their title challenge as a whole. The following week, in a Scottish Cup tie at Ibrox, Rangers were absolutely dire and could hardly muster a meaningful shot on target as a 0-0 draw eventually saw Celtic win on penalties. Against Hearts, Rohl has lost 2 of his 3 games at the helm. Against the other top 6 teams, Hibs, Falkirk and Motherwell, the record is just as patchy, 4 wins, 3 draws and a defeat. It is also worth remembering that, even in the win at Parkhead in January, Rangers were abysmal for the first 45 minutes. They were played off the park by a Celtic team under the guidance of Nancy and were lucky to only be 1-0 down at halftime, before coming back to win 3-1. Rohl has often pointed out that Rangers were 13 points adrift when he arrived. He also inherited a shambles from Russell Martin. Both of those things are undeniably true. But having clawed the gap back to 2 points when they beat Hearts 4-2 at Ibrox in February, a performance which remains the high water mark of the Rohl era, Rangers are now 7 points back once again. Should Hearts win away at Motherwell tonight and Rangers lose at Parkhead, that gap would stretch into double digits at 10 points. Or, to put it a little more bluntly, there would be scant difference in the final shake-up compared to when he first arrived. Rohl was a popular figure among supporters not all that long ago. But, against one of the worst Celtic teams in history and a Hearts team with a vastly inferior budget, he will finish the season without a trophy. Even if you were to give him the benefit of the doubt in the league in the sense that much of the damage had already been done, what about the cup competitions? Rohl was knocked out of both by a 74-year-old Celtic manager who, for all his experience and standing in the game, has sounded like he barely knows the names of some of his players at times. This is the precipice upon which the Rangers manager stands as he and his players head for Celtic Park tomorrow lunchtime. Rangers may not have a title to win anymore. That dream went up in smoke during a woeful second half at Tynecastle last Monday.